Okay, I'm being attacked again. My phone is turning off. I don't know why my camera's turning off. So a lot of my speech start coming through now. So that's okay. They erase what they want. I'm just gonna repeat it because repetition is mother of skill. And I know I'm fumbling and I'm gonna make better signs. Go home and learn from that man's comments and let them sink in and come out better. I'll come out by the end of this. I'll be like with more keys that are fucking videos and like fucking lights and shows. And I'm going to show them that they need to be listening to what's happening. They need to know the truth on how this country is being operated with this illegal immigration of 20 million people, stealing people's freedom and violating the rights of injuring them and being violent and stealing from all these hardworking Americans that built up a life to be protecting their family and have a home, and all be stolen by these immigrants that are taking over. And the courts allowing these ridiculous laws that no one knows about. There's laws that protect these squatters. Squatters is a crime. Being a squatter is a crime. They're stealing people's property. They're literally taking over their possessions, all their life savings, and they sell their things, and they're protected by these courts that are polluted in this country, that are of Mercer County courts in New Jersey, with all the judges there. They are so diabolical. They're so poisoned to be like sick people, and these immigrants, they provoke me a lot too. They try to get me to snap, and I put them in their place. I put them in their place, and they always put in their place the day I die. I need to get a stick for this shit. This is not working. What the fuck? Alright, so anyways, this is my story. I'm gonna continue on my story. You're gonna hear it, and it's gonna sound all over the place, but that's what they did to me. That's how that operates. That's how the operation of the Southern District of New York works, right? They deteriorate people, and they send in their detectives to illegal violations of people's privacy. They intrude in their lives. They come in out of nowhere, acting like they're someone else, and then they get information from you, and they exploit it. And again, you gotta keep in mind that the U visa program and that bullshit Violence Against Women Act, that is that they hire these sick psychopaths of those countries, of those third world countries, like just like we're seeing in Colombia, they're very, very aggressive. Think about it. Back in the day, and when Jorge was born, when he was the reincarnation of Ted Bundy, because Ted Bundy died in '89, right? And January 25th, whatever. And then his spirit was bouncing around to see where he's going next, and he ends up in Colombia. He ends up in Grenada, into a stomach of unwanted baby, and that was born, a third child of his mother and father, from what I understand, and that was in June 24th, or July 24th, on 1989, and he's the reincarnation of Ted Bundy because he's a psychopath, and his traits and behaviors they mirror him in the Latin form, in the modern day form, and how he's able to be so cunning and charming and get away with murder, literally, because his family murdered. They're involved in the murder of some 88-year-old guy that was married to his aunt Nancy, Fancy Nancy they call her, before Jorge did his torture and his scam up against me. So his aunt goes to meet this millionaire, and marries him, and within a month he's dead, and all his fortune goes to her, right? No, not so fast, because his family loved him. His family was able to stop her in her tracks, and get her deported where she's supposed to go back and never come back. But they do get to come back. They have 10 years to come back and do it again, but she came back early. She's been back. She's already getting married, and she's doing it to the next one. So beware, New Jersey. She lives in Union. She's a terror. She's a criminal. She's all in the family, and that family of the Castrillons, Hernandez in Colombia, that they are vicious. There's a network, and they have hundreds of them, and that's just in Colombia, in that area, that Grenada area of third world, where the cartel is neighbors to, and his uncle is one of the members of. It's so crazy that they all know this too, and they hired him specifically to attack someone that's a millionaire that was successful and vulnerable and nice and good, and they can't have that. This country can't have that. It exists, so they have to steal it from them. They stole my house. They stole my life. They threatened my life. They sent hundreds of people to gang stalk me, to destroy my credibility. And you know what? It worked because all these flying monkeys believe it and left me to dry and left me alone and to fight for myself, isolated to no protection. But I have God, and that's all I need. So I'm just that vulnerable. I'm just that one person that was raised to favor everybody but myself. So I was like not aware of that. I didn't never ask for anything. So when I did need something in desperate times like this, because I'm being so violated, no one came to my rescue but God. So I'm still alive because they tried killing me a few times, and I'm here to defend myself, and I'm here to say that they're still attacking me. And this polluted life that they created against me started in Southern District of New York. And Southern District of New York is a sick place. Everything's so pre-calculated, it's pre-orchestrated, and it's all these white judges that are it's all the plan, it's all the structure of how this works. There's a chamber that they could change their rules of engagement and favor what they need to be favored for the time of their cases that are coming up. So it works, just like it's so obvious. You can see with Diddy's case, they had this new extension of the statutory rape or whatever the fuck it was, the limit, the extension, the limit of whatever it is that allows them to sue people that abuse them, right? Adults that abuse them. So they open up that window to get him, and they get him, and they prosecute him because they open up that window to go anytime. In the past, there's no time restraint. So they do that. They set him up, and they collect all the ones he did too, and they set up all those traps, and they send all their goons in there, and they use their own people of color to do it to him, and then give him the key of the city. They set up the mayor to make him look like an idiot and take it back. And then all his people turn on him because they find some bullshit of his of tickets being upgraded. It's so obvious. Meanwhile, all these other presidents do the same thing. They're white. The whites get away with it. It's the people of color that don't. They hate us. They hate the black person. They create slavery. Ma'am, your zipper's open in your bag, the back bag. They create, they thrive on slavery. They thrive on this human trafficking. That's what that is, human trafficking. And because think about it, that's human. I've been human trafficked. I've been human trafficked from my own home that I paid for in my life. I paid my life off for owning my properties, in my car, my jewelry, my clothes, my pool, my Bible, my gay flags, my dungeon of entertainment center. They all stole it. They took it. The whites went in there. The thugs that knew the judge, that knew the sheriff, stole all of my $1 million worth of value. The last that I had left, even my hidden treasure of money that was there in the basement. They didn't even let me go in and get my mail. I mean, I was threatened to be Matthew Shepard. They were going to Matthew Shepard me. And we all know what happened to Matthew Shepard. He was brutally murdered. He was murdered like he was a slave. Like he was human trafficked to be like murdered, slaughtered by white dudes, and that tortured him. And he survived it for so long, but he finally died because he was a small frame guy. But he went through hell because he was gay, because he talked to them. I mean, he died in a torturous way. So they threatened me. These guys in my house showed me a video of them beating the shit out of some Asian kid in a parking lot and said, "You're next. Come into this house and see what happens." And that kid, I don't think he survived, but they're involved in other murders. But they know the judge. They know they're friends of the sheriff and the cops that went to my house that were supposed to take them out because they had no lease. They had no mail coming there. I didn't know who they were. They had no idea who they were. and never seen it before. And I had evidence. I had a video that I showed the police. I showing them that I was there 3 days before. I mowed the lawn. I kept the lawn fresh. I put the gay pride flag up on my house, and it was clean, impeccable, and no one was there. I left, and 4 days later, my house was invaded by 7 to 8 thugs, white thugs, that were friends of the judge, Captain M. Fitzpatrick, and friends of the sheriff, and they had this plan, scheme, pre-calculated to steal my house. They stole my home. They got away with it. They literally stole my house. I had no mortgage on my house. There's a $500,000 house with all my stuff in it, all my furniture, all my clothes, all my personal things, my lifelong things, all my scrapbooks and all my journals and my weights, my dildos, my porn, my food, my all personal things, my medicine, my water system that cleans the water that's polluted in the Trenton Mercer County area of the water system, one of the worst water in the world, and I had a filter that I paid it's a $15,000 filter. I was protecting myself. Clean water for my showers, for my car, for my plants outside. I had my plants of spinach and herbs and vegetables and kale. It was great. It was great. It was wonderful. I was going to live longer because I was protecting myself. I was looking out for myself, and I had my property. I owned it. It was mine, and I was totally sabotaged by officers of law, by people we were supposed to trust in this country. They're supposed to have our back. The court system that's so racist. It thrives on slavery. That's what that is. It's pure slavery in our modern day world happening to us. We're being treated like slaves because they're white and they could do that, and it's okay because it's stemmed in their brainwashed conformity that they can do that, and they do. They do it really well. They do an amazing job because I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof that I did everything I could to defend myself, and I got denied. They do it by they do their little tricks, their loopholes. They seal documents. They seal from their own person that's in the case. But they sealed my case for discrimination of Southern Wine and Spirits that fired me for my HIV, discriminated against me, and they got away with it. They're a $25 billion worth company, and at that time, now they're like trillion, and they totally spent millions to destroy me and smear me, and they did it in the Southern District of New York with the fake legal aid that they have in there, and their disgusting clerk reports that lie, steal, and cheat, and they know it. They're coons. They know what they're doing. They entrap innocent people, and they suffocate them because they're going by the white judges that have the power to abuse the power that we trust them with. And the Southern District of New York is ground zero for it. The rest of the country, they all mirror it. They mirror that behavior of human trafficking and slavery because they were people of color, and then they needed to put blacks in poverty and control them, and then the Jews and the Vatican they steal everything, and they make their own laws to protect themselves, and they get away with it. They get away with it, and they're only 1%. The Jews are 1% of the world, and they own 80% of the world. They're half the population of the fucking billionaire club, right? They're half of them. They're a sick reality of how they use their brain for really diabolical behavior, and they get away with it. Look what we're seeing in Gaza. Look at South Africa. I mean, look at the District of New York doing it to our own American blacks. It's really, really sick reality that we are living and having to have our own people suffer, and yeah, most likely Diddy's going to die in jail. He's going to be poisoned or he's going to be murdered, because that's how that works out, and it works for who does it work for best? It's the evil elite. They get to do what they do in their game and their circus at this fucking courthouse, the Southern District of New York. That's fraud. They're frauds. They hate that I see all these cops. They're seeing me. They have the next plan on attack on me. Right? They will follow me and they will set me up to be arrested again for no reason, illegally, and put me in jail again. it'll be a vicious cycle because that's gang stalking. That's the end game for me on my life. That they need to destroy me and need to keep their narrative being the narrative that people are listening to. That I'm the crazy one. When I'm telling the God honest truth that this is fucking something that's gonna affect so many people, and I'm trying to warn the public, warn the people of color that this is not stopping. You guys think this is stopping? You know, you're in for it. They have so many games to put you in slavery that they're doing. I mean, look at where I'm living. The Oppenheimers own it. The Jewish Oppenheimer estates own the slumlord buildings in New York City, where they're making $3,000 every unit that's a box that is no more value of $500, if that, for a month. Every month, that's every single place. They charge the government, and they put the people of color in them, and these buildings are condemned. They should be condemned. They are hazards to live in. They are built. They're built on mold now. They are mold infested. They are really destructive in the body system to have this toxic air being polluted into the breathing of the night sleep. That's why I sound like this. And they don't change it. They don't fix it. They make it worse. They put the heater. They control the heat to go even hotter than it's supposed to be. I turn off all my heaters, and they still have holes in the ground that are pumping out that heat to make mold just infest. So I got to get out of there. It's been 2 years of hell like that, and I've complained 300 times to the 301 and tried taking them to court, and no attorney will take the case. Strategically, it's unbelievable. I have no gas. I've had no gas for 2 years now, and they set up 9 cameras around my living existence. Of when you walk in the building, there's 4 cameras each side of the building, and there's one right at the top of the building. The light goes on every time, even daytime. The light goes on to make sure it captures me every time I go in and out of that building. And there's an extra 2 they just added on the sides, and it says Homeland Security on like the two parts of the building. So I know this is all being a trap for my life, for them to take over my life. And I'm going to keep, as long as I'm free to do so, to say the truth, and let this be known that they are sick fucking group of Nazis. They're like Nazis. They're like of the apartheid. They should not exist. They should be punished. They should be forced to stop, because this is not human. It's not humane to be destroying people, and it's actually it's of the devil of evil, because that's what that thrives on. It thrives on this what we're seeing now, all this hatred and this destruction and falling of this empire state of mind that they have control over and brainwash and have us convinced that this is okay and this is the way it's going to be. No, we have to rebel. We have to stop them and say enough is enough. I mean, what is it going to take? This is slavery, guys. Slavery in full throttle. It is complete, utter humiliation of a person's freedom. And I mean, just look at another example. Going down to the other states. Think of what's happening. No one thinks of this. No one cares, but they should care. But in Alabama, they have the blacks in the jails, and they're working for free. They work for free at these fucking places to Wendy's and Walmart and all these places that are that's slavery. That is complete oppression. That they're working for free, and they're forced to work overtime. They're forced, and they don't get that. That's the freedom for them, because they're locked in a cell otherwise, right? And they don't. It's time for parole. They don't give them parole. They get denied, because that's the system. That's the system of this government that is so corrupted. It's so based on slavery. That's pure slavery. Alabama is like A for Alabama, A+ for slavery, because they literally thrive on slavery with black people. With people of color, they dumb them down, and they put them in prison from childhood. They put them in prison from childhood. Blacks and they're there for life. That's what they know. That's all they know. And they love, the whites love that power, because they're sadistical, sick, not even human. They're the worst of the kind. We are allowing it to take over and get these positions to do so, and they get away with it. They get away with torturing the people of color. NYPD does, the Hamilton Police Department. They're awful. They're just like disgusting people. They're total. They're KKK in uniform. They make these $90,000 salaries, and they're the biggest police department in the world. Doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. it's a sick reality. But let me put this on. It's 15 minutes now. It's all good. Yeah, it's really good to go.